Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Honcast here. We got the DreamHack Summer 2015 warm-up event wrapping up what should be and hopefully will be a good finals matchup here. Of course, this is going to be a best out of three. Looking forward. This officially is going to be the last cast here on Honcast until DreamHack Summer 2015, which starts next weekend, of course. So excited for that. With that said, obviously we are, it's a little bit later of a start today. Long story short, it's been an interesting day here. Simply put, third place match, obviously getting forfeited in the end. Druids taking it over Sync Esports. Sync not showing up there. So Druids being your third place team, they get the $500. Now we got a finals matchup. We did have some delay here, obviously. With I'm not even sure on the reasons why, to be honest, but it was pushed back a little bit, and then even a further delay on top of that. But hey, we've made it. We've made it to game number one, and that's what matters. So finally, we get some Han to be casting here, and again, hopefully should be a good best of three here coming at you. So Bad Monkey Gaming versus Reason Gaming. Definitely looking forward to this and a preview of perhaps what to see at that DreamHack event next weekend, but excited for that. Anyways, we're already moving along plenty as far as the draft is concerned, so want to get this part out of the way, introduce my co-caster for today. The one and only Shortcan going to be joining me. Shortcan, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I just actually finished casting some 5v5 games in the 5v5 Cup going on at the same time. That finals is actually Ogre versus Disband, so just interesting little tidbit. There is a little bit of money on the line there as well, so it's always fun to see. And yeah, I'm excited to start co-casting here.
Yeah, obviously, this is definitely a good series here, so happy to hear that you're doing that. But, we got BMG versus Reason. Both these teams, you were casting with Mathematical, actually, yesterday. You saw them in their victory, so some interesting stuff. I mean, honestly, and I don't think I'm alone in this, going into what to expect, who to see in the finals today, I can't say I expected these two teams, to be frank. I mean, I thought, if anything, Druids versus Sync would have been the finals matchup. But here we are once again, Reason Gaming especially. They've been looking so strong lately. And, of course, BMG, they defeated Sync Esports 2-1 yesterday to get to this point. So definitely very worthy teams. And, would you just say these teams just both played very well yesterday?
Well, I can say for a fact that Reason, they were on point. They had their drafts down to the most intricate detail. They knew exactly how to counter Druids, and that's why it ended up being a 2-0, sweep. And BMG, on the other hand, they had a Legionnaire strat. And that was the first game. They wrecked with that. And then in the second game, they also had a 10k lead, but they didn't know how to finish it due to Sync being a bit too team fight oriented, being able to defend their towers their base a bit too easily, having a Kraken, Tempest, along the lines of that. And ultimately, BMG ended up taking it all. It was impressive to watch, really. They were playing really solid.
Yeah. All right, well, definitely, again, expecting a good series here between these two teams, Reason Gaming and BMG. Obviously, it's worth noting here, Masera, he is stepping in for Boxy currently for the time being. We were still waiting on Boxy, which is, I believe, part of the reason for the delay in the first place. But rather than continuing to wait, obviously, we decided, we want to watch some Han here, damn it. So they're throwing in Masera, at least for game number one. We'll see, obviously, how that may change up moving forward if Boxy is able to return in time or not. But anyways, he's going to be ringing for them here. See if you can give him a nice little shout out as well. Remembering. Yeah, by nice little shout out, I mean they hate each other now. No, they like to troll. But
man, they've been together for the longest time, by the way. Boxy and Fusen.
Holy crap. They have, yeah. No, you can even see that at the World Finals too. I mean, in person, they were trolling each other in person quite a bit, and it's almost like they're brothers there. But yeah, it's definitely it is a good fun, of course. So don't take that seriously, guys. They like to troll one another. But anyways, the fifth and final pick coming out here. Well, let's start from the top real quickly. The initial bans were Midas, Parasite, Kinesis, and Ophelia. That did leave open a Warbeast, and Reason Gaming snatches it up. So they get the Warbeast into Swiftblade, Moira into Moraxis, Magmus into Hag. And then on the top of the other bans, we see Valkyrie into Pyromancer. So given Zane, very likely that Warbeast, though. Always a scary thing. We did see Tankafet play a jungle Warbeast, though, recently, to be fair. wonder if that's a possibility here.
Well, like, knowing that BMG is as aggressive as they are, I really think that they should run it suicide. Because I think that they might be able to shut down Warbeast's Woods completely, and then the hero just falls off so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And in the suicide lane, he can always get a standard 250 GPM just through pulling. Or at least something around that around those lines. Farming the Ancients as well as just pulling every second wave. It's very effective. And Polywog Priest.
Yeah, that's a little different here.
So is it going to be a Warbeast Woods? And then
yeah.
a Suicide Valkyrie Magmas thing? I don't know.
Because then who would Imboboy play? Yeah, Imboboy, it does play the carry Valkyrie. So, I mean, I thought maybe we were going to see we could still see more of an aggressive tri-lane. I mean, it still could be a laning Warbeast, to be fair, with some kind of an aggressive tri-lane with Poly and Warbeast solos. You have like Magmus, Falcon, Moira or something like that, but...
I will say they have a lot of push now, and Master of Arms isn't going to be able to do a lot against, the Polywog Voodoo Wards.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to lane this. Because Magmus did end up going to Tankafet, and it does look like it's going to be a Suicide Warbeast.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, though. Yeah, exactly. So they swap it up at the last second, say a Tankafet playing that Magmus. So the idea of some kind of an aggressive tri-lane even could be very possible here, coming out from Reason Gaming. So you do see on the side of Bad Monkey Gaming over there, they finished with that MOA pickup. So no jungler for them, of course. BMG as being BMG especially.
What?
So.
They're not jungling?
I know, right? It's so weird. They have actually been doing it a little bit lately, but yeah.
With the jungle Make yesterday, actually, it was Legionnaire Woods from the start, and he snowballed completely. Out of control.
We have seen, I know, we've seen, with Boxy before as well, so it's, again, they have the idea. We've seen Fusen playing Tempest even fairly recently a couple of times here, so dabbling into it, but it just feels odd. It just feels that they're just a team that doesn't run jungler, so stick to that almost. But we'll see how that maybe adapts moving forward here to the DreamHack event, of course, coming up next weekend. I still can't believe that's the case, man. Next freaking weekend.
Yeah, I get to see all these players.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Yeah,
crazy stuff. All right, but. We got this grand finals to enjoy before then. Again, this is going to be the last bit of coverage here. Obviously, with this week coming up, sure the event starts next weekend, but there's still some more preparation to be done this week. And, well, I actually leave Wednesday evening pretty much, so I'm going to be heading out there. I'll be there by Thursday morning, you could say. So.
Well, I mean, you do have to go through a whole flight plus jet lag, so it's understandable.
Yeah, got to get that there a little early. It is nice, yeah, but... Exactly, all 6 hours ahead for me. Always fun time. It's not 12 hours at least like it is with Thailand. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy difference.
Well, let's look at these lanes for a bit. I mean, how Sync would almost run this is put the Hag middle and then, have Morexis getting that free farm in the top lane to secure their initiator role. I wonder if BMG is going to do the same or whether they're just going to run the Pyromancer dual mid with the Morexis. But it is kind of strange because it almost looks like they're setting up for a tri-lane when it very likely isn't going to be a tri-lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Hag dual lane.
That is odd. That would be very. But yeah, I mean, this goes back to, like I said, looking at Reason's lineup, the idea of running an aggressive tri-lane definitely there. So I mean, I can understand why BMG maybe was almost expecting that, but. Yeah, as we noticed, that's not the case. They are going to send Zane up here, sure enough, on Warbeast.
Are they maybe just getting these two supports here so they can really stop the pull? Because it doesn't look like it's working.
Well, they're trying. I mean, they get one of the dogs, kinda, but they are going to cause some issues at least. Zane's, not having the easiest time getting the pull necessarily, and he's going to end up dragging away one creep, but yeah, not the biggest deal in the world. And there you go with the kill on the Hellhound. So, whoa, what's down here, by the way? Swift Blade, he's in trouble. Magmus has a stun. There's a stun coming up. Sarah might be getting bloodlusted right here. A couple more auto attacks. Has to start the Harkon. And yes, it will secure the bloodlust kill. So, got so involved at the top lane with the pull attempt that not even sure how they got here in the first place, but Magnus and Moira, they chased down Swiftblade.
And Balthazar is rotating now to the top lane, and they have a nice tri-lane going on with Moraxis.
Versus nobody.
Yeah, so Pyromancer is just taking over mid for a bit, rotating earlier than his buddy Moraxis. So this is more of the lane that I thought they were originally going to take. Or even, you know, pull into the woods with a Pyromancer, that one wave at top lane. Because there was nothing stopping them from doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that first blood on the Swiftblade, Masera is going to have a difficult time staying in this lane.
Yeah, especially. I mean, knowing that, he gets a ward of sight down for vision purposes, a very defensive ward of sight here for Swiftblade, but obviously it's necessary, knowing that Magnus and Moira are nearby. You do see Tankafet, of course, almost in essence playing a jungle Magnus here. Currently has the creep pull he's working with as far as that pull camp right there. Middle lane, though, Polywalk Priest. Again, I guess it hasn't really hit me yet that we're still seeing a Polywalk Priest, especially in a middle role. Classic. Obviously, a lot of people would, for those that have been around a while, media thought is so no-tail playing Polywalk Priest way back in his day for Fnatic and the amazing and fun play we saw of that. But obviously, a lot has changed since then, both in the game itself and even on Polywalk to an extent. Has gotten changes here and there, and more so buffs, I believe, on its electric.
Oh, but here's the stun.
But yeah, he's in some trouble right here. There's the stun, the Dragonfire on top of the follow charge shot and the stomp, and well. Good stun rotation by BMG to lock down Mad H right there.
Yeah, definitely a good job. I saw Fusen roaming as well, and I really think that this is what he should be doing pretty much the entire game, because he's not really able to stop a Warbeast from pulling those constant creep waves. And, I mean, he's trying to stack as well, but who's he really stacking for? It's nice for Hag to get some farm, but Moraxis isn't the best killer of it either, so maybe it's for Masera. Yeah, Masera does look to be rotating into the woods now.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're pointing that out, especially getting Bloodlusted at the bottom lane. He's not going to really be able to stand there at all, so I guess this is the next best thing. The jungle Swiftblade isn't out of the question necessarily with that level 1 spin and whatnot, so it's possible, and especially with the creep wave pull. That can help too. So, middle lane, by the way. Moira coming in on the Moraxis right here. Polywalk Priest following it up, and Electric Jolt gets the kill. Obviously, Magnus being part of that as well. You even saw the arrow flying in from Valkyrie at the last second. So, good job collapsing on the middle lane as they take out Moraxis. Good kill right there.
Yeah, I didn't see most of that, but actually, they're going to initiate on mid now.
They're going back in on the Polywalk now, and without Moraxis, still plenty of lockdown. Not enough for the kill just yet. Bottle Charge is going to barely keep him alive. Is he going to stay out of range is the question. 290 movement speed. He takes a charge shot stun, though. The axe flying and misses. Oh, but Magnus blocks him a little bit right there, but it still is not going to be enough. God, they would have been raging against one another. They probably were if he ended up dying right there. But, man, he barely lives. That was close, though.
Lucky that they didn't have vision. I think Moraxis might have actually moved away from the hill to, end up losing that vision on the other side. So... unfortunate for sure, but they might have also just missed those auto attacks uphill.
Yeah.
You never know.
Close chase, though. Close chase. So, man, we got a very active game here, though, early on, especially in the middle lane. A lot of movement happening. It's almost like it's a try versus try middle to an extent. Is how it's kind of ended up from both these teams.
I mean, Masera is now level 3, so he is getting some farm. I really kind of feel like he should have gone for Boots' first item, though. I mean, it could have been a risk. Just maybe not buy any items at all at the start until you know what you're up against. Because if he had Boots, he would have been able to escape that first blood kill, and he wouldn't have been in such a bad spot as he is now.
Yeah. Well, he is back to the bottom lane. Obviously has Boots now once again, so... going to be able to use that for the speed. But yeah, you're talking about Imboboy, level 6. Well, was a 3, now only a 2-level advantage, but still having a much more of an advantage there. The Battle Cry, of course, level 3 Battle Cry currently coming out, as always, very important to keep in mind. And Valkyrie, last hitting-wise, 29 and 21. I swear, Imboboy, out of all these carry players, it just seems like Imboboy's always the one that's on top of denying creeps, man. He's he probably, I know Quincy's not here once again today, but as far as creep denies go, I would not be surprised if he leads it by a lot per game. He's just he makes sure that to deny as many creeps as possible. I mean, how important do you think that really is? Is it maybe just a little bit like he does it because he just wants something to do, or is it actually necessary to an extent?
Well, it's very. I think versus a Swiftblade who's not in lane, I mean, then it's of course not necessary. Then you just want to maintain lane control so that you don't really are at a risk of getting ganked or anything. But let's say, for example, you're versus a Kinesis Suicide, then those denies really, really start mattering. Like, if they were versus a Kinesis right now and Imboboy had this amount of denies, he would be 2 levels lower than Valkyrie, and if he had had all the XP that Valkyrie had as well. So in that regard, it's very important, but in this game, not so much, I'd say.
Yeah, again, just being active, wanting something to do. 38 and 26 now. I mean, you compare it to Hag 29 and 10. Obviously, a little different right there. But speaking of that, Baltazar, you know, not doing too shabby himself, of course. 215 gold per minute here at the top lane, so off to a decent start. Yeah, how about BMG also running the Wretched Hag? That's also kind of just hitting me right now. Again, Sync has been playing it so much lately. It seems like every single game they've been running it. BMG running it here. So, again, it's just like maybe it's grabbing some attention across the scene, as you know, and when the top-tier team especially starts playing it very frequently, you figure more and more people are going to become interested in it to an extent. So, I guess Hag's going to be a DreamHack hero coming up here.
Yeah. I've said it before, but I do really enjoy seeing the hero because it's really fun to see how people position themselves while playing this hero and what items they go for. Because honestly, there's a lot of options that they can have, that they can go for. Like, we've seen the Grimoire now a couple of times on Flensmeister and stuff, and that's always been a very solid pickup. Or even just rushing the Hellflower, for example. It's quite strange to see a Hag who doesn't do stuff in a game as well.
Middle lane, by the way, Pyromancer, he's going to fall. Good job killing him right there as Magnus roaming in with the Striders and helping us set up that kill, so well played.
Yeah, I lost my thought, but
a Wretched Hag there as far as involvement.
Yeah. Polywog is actually a great hero if you want to lock people down. So, oh wow, the War Trap coming in.
Nice War Trap. He lands it now. It's not going to do enough damage for a kill by any means, but
Magnus.
Yeah, he's running in. However, more access. He also still has his Matrax. He didn't panic right there and use it. So top lane though, Warby's going at it with Wretched Hag. Wretched Hag sure to use her Bat Blast onto Warby's. Warby's on the ulti form now. One more auto attack and he gets it off. Baltazar ends up falling. That is probably one of the last things you would expect to happen. A solo Warby's killing a solo Wretched Hag in the top lane. Not good news for the Hellborn side. Middle lane now as well, and more not good news. Swiftblade is going to be able to spin away. Will it be enough for counter kills? The question. Polywog Priest misses the nuke right there from Pyromancer, that Phoenix wave, and now the tongue tie comes out as soon as the spin ends. The Mana Sunder on a Pyromancer, but he'll be fine. Well, that was a big miss on the nuke, and I don't know if it would have been a kill actually, but still. Swiftblade ends up going down. Chasing too much.
Yep. So I think this ringer is really affecting them. You know, it's not to flame Masera or anything, but Boxy just always brings so much to the team.
Yeah.
He really has just quite an amazing presence, and I think it's also in the Skype call that he calls a bunch of stuff because Fusin often shouts out to him in those interviews and everything. So
yeah, yeah, it always does feel a little like awkward almost saying that because again it's not that we're trying to flame Masera here by any means. Obviously a great player, but as we always go back to, you know, that team synergy, the idea that you are playing with a player that you're not usually playing with, especially in that tournament environment, especially communication, very important things like that aren't going to be nearly as on par. And yeah, as you're pointing out too, especially when it's replacing a player that is or may be very active when it comes to that. So. But it's obviously they're having to stick with him for this game number 1. He is level 6. We'll see if he can maybe get any kind of opportunity with that in the time being. But it's at least kind of a start there for a BMG. But
yeah, at this Swiftblade right now is in such a bad spot that I think it would be a waste to put the jungle. Moraxis is being loud. When the to have the jungle stacks go to him. I really don't think that's a good idea. They really need to secure farm on that Moraxis and make sure he gets his PK. In that way, with the good counter initiates, they will be able to turn a team fight if Reason overextends. But top lane right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge lockdown. Yep, we see this. You mentioned this earlier even. Polywalker is great against a hero like a Wretched Hag for that reason right there. Excellent lockdown between the Hex, between the Tongue-Tied, and sets it up for an easy kill on a Wretched Hag. So Baltazar, that is now 2 deaths on him, and he was having a great start here. He was still doing okay. Middle lane in the meantime, they stun in right here. War Trap once again on a Moraxis. Oh, and he's on top of that right here. Moraxis, he's not stomping. He's just going to try to run this whole time. He finally pops the Matrax, and he will get out of there, and he will be fine. But yeah, if he stomped, Magnus would not have been able to hide in that steam path that whole time. Figured they maybe could have tried something.
Exactly, like that spin from Swiftblade, we know how much damage it does. We see time and time again that people underestimated it and then just end up falling.
Yeah.
But, you know, that kill at the top lane on Hag, that was with level 1 Morph and level 1 Tongue-Tied. And it was already such huge disable.
Wow. Yeah, he only has level 1 of those, jeez.
It's pretty ridiculous. And when he gets those levels, 4.75 seconds on Tongue-Tied. So if they don't get a Nullstone or a Shrunken and they get locked down like that in a team fight, they're going to die.
Yeah.
No question about it.
God, what is that? Technically, yeah, it's 8.25 seconds that he has lockdown up between the Tongue-Tied and the Morph at max levels. Basically 8 seconds. 8 seconds of lockdown that he can do by himself on one hero if he wanted to. Yeah, obviously the channeling, that's never guaranteed by any means, but it's still the potential is real. Oh my God, Swiftblade might be in some trouble. That would have been bad, but he is going to be fine in the end. Oh, but no! Master of Arms does get caught. Man, Moira, that
Moraxis running in, though.
Forge. Too big. Moraxis, though, stun on a Magnus. Magnus, he is going to die. So in the end, a counter kill coming out for BMG, and that's their first kill in a while, man. So at least finally getting something once again, but all the momentum seems like it's still on Reason Gaming's side right now. Emma Boy's leading the way with that, but, looking at the GPM charts, it's actually maybe not as bad as I thought it was. Moraxis and Hag are still doing pretty solid here for BMG.
I'm just really afraid that the limited impact from the Swiftblade, Pyro, and Moa is really going to affect BMG because Polly was originally a mid, right? Mm-hmm. So they are going to try and secure some farm on him so he can get that portal key because I assume that's what he's going for. But on top of that, their Suicide has 330 GPM. Top lane.
Yeah, Wretched Hag. Here's that lockdown that we're talking about, and no chance for Wretched Hag to even remotely blink right there. I mean, you also see the range. What is the range on that Morph? It is 500 range, and that's a decent. By the time you see the hero, there's a good chance that you already may get hit by Morph, as we've seen now a couple times from Wretched Hag's case. And here we go to Pyromancer. Invis helping with that one right there, but the War Trap missed. So the first War Trap we've seen miss from Onmi right there, and this time it does not result in a kill. Pyromancer sneaks on out, so close call, but no cigar.
Close but no cigar, yep. And it's really unfortunate that he missed that because Pyromancer and Master of Arms are really not going to be able to escape from that War Trap at all. They just simply don't deal enough damage to, take down that ward quick enough. Mm-hmm. But Moraxis, on the other hand, with that Matrax, of course, survived for quite a long time.
Look at Moira all over already, man. Already has a portal key on Moira. That is absurd.
How does he do that? He's been in how many kills? He's been in 6 kills, and he's got 4 kills. Yeah.
I guess that's the GPM. Reason. He also has 18 creep kills. I mean, for a support, that's actually not too bad at all at this early on in the game. So, yeah, he's been managing to get some great farm. Oh, top tower kill. That'll also help.
And I mean, Tankafet, as the second support, Magnus is also getting up there. He's got 1,700 gold saved up, so that PK is also in the works for him. Oh, but Pyromancer, Root of Z, going for the big play.
Oh, if this is a kill, it is a kill. Tankafet goes down, so Caster's Curse for Tankafet right there. Talking about the portal key coming up. Yeah, going to be waiting a little bit longer now, as he'll have to sit in that death timer for another 20 seconds. Well played by Root of Z, though, obviously taking advantage of the hero that he is, really. Roaming around and getting a free kill, seeing that he had a chance right there. So But 15 minutes in, man, 7,500 gold lead, 5,000 experience lead right now. Middle lane, we do have initiation on both sides. Moraxis going to the Valkyrie, but his teammate's being caught in the background. Wretched Hag will fall, and now Master of Arms, he's forced to run away. Moraxis all of a sudden by himself. That Matrix is not going to save him. Turn it around completely. Another kill, and they caught somebody here. Is that Master? I don't even know who it was. That was the
Master
arrow
of
that
Arms.
Master of Arms just died. By the time he came out, he was dead, basically. That was ridiculous.
The arrow must have just hit him right in the face. My God.
That was funny. Anyways, Tower of Fall. Look at this already. Wow. Well, that
was a quick game.
That's domination at its finest right there, coming out. Yeah.
So, okay.
Wretched Hag, probably not the strongest pick here, I think, is where you have to look at this game.
Yeah, if you leave him 1v1 versus the Warbeast just doesn't do bad at all. He just sends his dogs after you and then effectively harasses you out of lane. Yeah. And you would like to argue, oh, Hag has the Haunt ability and he can, harass Warbeast, but if he has enough regen, then he just keeps out sending dogs. And when Hag is out of mana, then he can't do anything about it anymore. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I really just think it came down to everyone on Reason got something from what they were doing. Magnus was farming the pull a lot, Nair was farming the pull, they got a lot of ganks off and stuff, and then Zane on the suicide did an amazing job, and Imbaboy was just doing his own thing. So, well played.
I was actually also going over the replay at the end. That's actually interesting interaction with the Arcane Vortex and the arrow. So the arrow actually got sucked into it, and then when Master came out, he got hit with it right away.
Are you sure that that's what happened?
Here, I'll watch it again, but like by the time it gets to the middle, basically Arcane Vortex ends, so maybe it's just coincidence. So yeah, here, let me watch it again right here. There's the arrow coming out. Yeah, I swear, like, it seems like it should be past him, but by the time he comes out, but it still hits him. I don't know. That's interesting. I would be curious